It's getting real bad for Barcelona. I saw an advert recently that you can now have your wedding in the Camp Nou. They're
trying to raise money.
No, I'm not even joking. They turned the Camp Nou to an event hall. What's good, people? Sangaloo family, we're back in the house. Your boy Shopsy, Tele by my side. This episode we're going to be talking about African football. So I'm in my African football jersey. Arguably the greatest Nigerian football jersey ever released.
Why did you spin it like that? Was that really the plan?
It's an African jersey. It's an African episode, African gums. There we are. So there's been recent news that's excited me quite a bit, and we'll start off with Ghana. Yeah. So the Ghana Football Federation have been making some serious recruitments in the lead up after they just decked us in the qualifiers for the World Cup. They're strapping their arsenal. They're getting the best players they can possibly. If your grandma is Ghanaian or something, they're asking you questions like,
your great-great-grandfather is Ghanaian.
You don't even have to have been to Ghana. You don't even have to have done any Dirty December. But if you can play football and you might be Ghanaian, they're speaking to you right now. So at the moment, they've secured two very big players and two other players who are pretty big, but they're not necessarily changing allegiances. So Tariq Lamptey, right back from Brighton, has made the switch. He's a fantastic player. I think he's one of the best right backs in the league. I think one of the top. You should be playing at a top club right now.
For sure, definitely one of the best right backs in the league, especially last season. He had a wonderful, time out last season, playing for Brighton in that position. I personally used him in my FPL to great effect, on some weekends. So yeah, definitely a good player and one that is going to progress and get better over time. So Ghana have done due diligence, done very good work.
This is going to be one of the best players on the continent for a few years come. I believe that.
He definitely looks like that kind of player. He is in that kind of mode at the moment, doing what he's doing in the Premier League, in Premier League defense for that matter, where...
And Brighton are a good side. Of the mid-table team, they're one of the teams that play the best football. They have a great manager, so he's learning from one of the best managers in the league. Yeah, it's a great coup. He's chosen Ghana over the Three Lions. So with the wealth of right backs the Three Lions have at the moment, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, Kyle Walker, Trippier, James Justin, like there are just so many of them. It makes sense for him to make that switch. And another key player, this is the Spanish international. He's not very young, but I guess as his career has gone, he never really got a look in Spanish national team. But for his club, he's definitely a club legend. But I heard the stats about him. I think like the last 5 seasons, man, I've played like every single minute of every match. So yeah, that's a big player that they've signed, a very good attacking player who's been doing it in Europe for a long time now. We've seen him in Champions League, we've seen him in the Europa League. He's definitely going to come in and be one of Ghana's main players going into the World Cup.
Definitely Inaki Williams. And of course, even in the AFCON, we saw the need for experienced attacking players in Ghana. So them going to sign Inaki, I mean, Andre, are you too old? And Jordan, are you also maybe just him old? And so they knew that they needed quality attacking players. And although they had all those young boys, that guy from Roma, Mourinho's boy, I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, they gave the shoes.
and a couple other interesting young talent. But this experienced head, cool head, Inaki Williams, mainstay in the Athletic Bilbao team for the past 5 solid years, and definitely that was a big coup that I actually saw, and I was really surprised. Them going for for Inaki.
And it's rare to see a player like this experience at this age. Like this seems like a club signing, not a transfer.
And interestingly, their movement, the Ghana FA's movement, has been in that light. It looks like they've been going out like a club trying to sign all
players.
Of these players.
And I have to respect it. And yeah, it's a good job. I'd like to see
very good
the top Africans playing for African countries.
Continuing that narrative, even the way they announced that these players have switched allegiance, you would think it's a club signing.
It's great to see. And in addition, it's not just those two players. Those are the two most high-profile players at the moment. So they've also picked up Salisu from Southampton, a defender, Stefan Ambrosius, Patrick Pfeiffer, and Yeboah. And I think what's even bigger news is whilst they pick those up, they're not done with their recruitment, and we're hearing rumors that they're looking at Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think that's been going on for some time now. They've been trying to poach him. And the way his England career is going, not that great. You think there's a big chance you can get him. And also, they're also linked to Eddie Nketiah. Top Arsenal striker, had a great season Yeah, he filled in the void that they needed toward the end of last season. He's gotten a new contract, so he should be confident and feeling good about himself.
Honestly, very, very good job by the Ghana FA. They had a little issue before, AFCON, but they seem to have gotten themselves back on track. Yep. The kinds of players that they're bringing on board, the kind of manager that they have on board at the moment, very exciting talent. And it seems to be going well for Ghana. And talking about good stuff going on in African football, Samuel Eto'o, the relatively new chairman of the Cameroon FA, Fecafoot president, he's doing amazing with Cameroon. He's, bringing in people that understand football, people that want the progress of Cameroon football. He's bringing them on board. Giving proper incentives to players to do well for the national side, and pretty good stuff that we're seeing on the continent.
It's great to see. Super Eagles. So what I wanted to ask you, you as a football fan, I don't know, how do you feel about these Ghanaian players that have been brought in now that didn't help Ghana qualify for the World Cup? How do you feel about them coming in now and taking minutes from players that did help them qualify for the World Cup? Or do you look at it as sorry, these guys are better than you. Thanks for getting us this far.
So I like that you allowed us, enjoy the glory of of the good that is what it is. So now let us go into the if aspect of of everything. So
a lot of these players, it looks like because they couldn't get their way with other people, now they are settling.
Precisely what I was going to say. The likes of Inaki Williams could not get into the Spanish setup. And now he's getting an opportunity to play in the World Cup.
Yeah, he's just seen as a ticket to the World Cup.
He's like, almost sign me up for that. And then, Callum Hudson-Odoi too, who is likely to come play for Ghana.
He just know he would have chosen England
over time to enter the Three Lions setup.
Exactly.
He was in the age grade,
teams, all that.
But he couldn't really.
So I guess we're speaking on Nigeria. Recently we just got Ademola Lookman, very exciting player, and we're currently linked to Michael Olise. The Crystal Palace winger who's broken onto the scene recently. Very exciting player. He dribbles well. He's just like this. The way Crystal Palace have been molded and like Zaha, like Ebere, Eze, he's one of those type of players. But he has the option, he initially had the option to play for either France, Nigeria or Algeria. He's ruled out Algeria and now he's looking at France or Nigeria. So it could be one of those situations where you would assume he wants to play for France, and if he can get into that team.
So this is the thing. I feel like he has the talent to play for France.
And
he does not seem to have too much competition in the position that he plays. He can play in the right side of midfield, play right attacking midfield, and can also play as an attacking midfielder, even though for the most part you've seen him play on the left for Crystal Palace. And he's a player that's also developing, so he definitely can fit into that French national team. But there is the case of him seeing Ademola Lookman not being able to nail down a spot in the Super Eagles, and then he will look at that and say, maybe there's too much competition.
Because you've seen that with that happened with Wilfred Zaha, who should be in his club, who can actually tell him exactly about that, who in the end had to pick and switch allegiances to Ivory Coast. And recently, speaking on this same trend, Wan-Bissaka has also been heavily linked to moving back to play for Congo, since he can, speaking of all the right backs England have, it's a problem for him as well. So yes, one to keep an eye on. In these recent times, a lot of diaspora footballers are returning home. And I think a key part to this, I wonder, maybe we're about to say the same thing, but I think a key part to this for me is, I feel like the way the last male AFCON was televised, like it was televised in England for the first time on Sky Sports, where everybody watches the Premier League. So they see it as everybody watches, and I can be a big deal playing in this tournament. I can get all the likes, I can get the followers, I can get the whole continent rooting for me, and it's looking appealing. And I guess right now, the whole African, like they're all coming back home for holidays, more African giant, they're listening to more Burna Boy. It's just more appealing now.
Yeah, definitely across board. I think across board, especially with entertainment and also in sports now, Africa is, taking its place, at the forefront of the conversation. So definitely there's more eyes on African football even now, and that's why I feel like we're fumbling the bag by not doing proper publicity and coverage of the Women Africa Cup of Nations that's currently going on. So these players see this as an opportunity to also put themselves out there. Even
you can get a big move if you perform at this tournament. And the truth is, a lot of these players that play that have English nationality, like you might be more likely to win
win
AFCON with Nigeria rather than just crashing out, going to World Cup and doing all these things with England on the bench. Like
exactly.
Come on, be a local hero now. It's worth it, man.
It is definitely something. And of course, I think the most interesting aspect of it for me is Ghana's, just to quickly piggyback again, Ghana's move, leading up to the World Cup, bringing on all of these players that have.
Hope it works out. Hopefully, it doesn't mess up the vibe in the camp. Inaki Williams might come expecting.
It will work out because the whole Ghana football setup knows that they're going through a period right now, like a restructuring.
So they're on the same page.
So they understand that yes, it is a time to test out things and a time to do something new. So it definitely looks like something that will work out for Ghana.
So yeah, it's interesting to see more top players playing for Africa. Africa football will be on the rise. It will motivate more young African boys to pursue their passion. I guess now the 13-year-old players that would have been in the English setup saying, maybe I want to make the switch earlier. Maybe I want to do that. That's interesting to see. Maybe we won't see. Because I always found it interesting how like the French national team, like they won a World Cup filled with African players. And it's like
players of
so you mean
descent.
players of African descent, and a lot of these players were first generation players of African descent. So their fathers and mothers are Africans through and through, like you and I. So it might be interesting to see if over maybe the next 10, 15 years we see a switch and African countries are actually the best.
And like a Congo gets the next Mbappe.
Yeah, exactly, and he stays there and performs instead of going overseas. So that's interesting. Keep an eye on the news for that. The player transfer, switching allegiances in the lead up to the next.
It's interesting to see that we're talking about player transfers
for national football. Yeah, switching allegiances in the lead up to the next international tournaments. It's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on from that, Tele wanted to touch on something. Actually.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wanted to talk about Barcelona and their woes. I mean, for all we've been hearing, Barca are as broke as they come.
It's getting real bad for Barcelona. I saw an advert recently that you can now have your wedding in the Camp Nou.
They're trying to raise money.
No, I'm not even joking. They turned the Camp Nou to an event hall. Sonny Ade might be drumming there in 2 weeks' time if they reach Africa most.
Bro, yeah, another thing. So Barcelona currently revealed Christensen as their new signing, and on Twitter they uploaded a picture of Christensen, and the picture was not clear at all. It was blurry.
Oh my days.
And here what people are coming back.
So they're cutting costs there as well.
They don't have money to, they couldn't get a 4K
I think Barcelona is a team that they've been very dear to me. I love Barcelona. I love Ronaldinho. I love Lionel Messi, but they are the worst run club in football today. They're just the worst. These players they sign, the wages they put these players to, like, if you think about the quality of the players that have walked into Barcelona in the last like 4 years, they shouldn't be this bad. As in Coutinho flop, Depay flop, Dembele flop. They sold Neymar and they regretted that. It's so bad.
And it's interesting.
They bought Pjanic, he did literally nothing, he just disappeared.
And the jury is out on what that transfer really was.
The Pjanic
transfer was
with Barcelona, with their finances, like it's hard to put your exact reason on what's going wrong because you can look at it from the Messi standpoint. I find they were paying Messi way much more than we thought they were paying Messi, and that was costing them. And then all these players that they will sign, these experienced players, Coutinho, you have to pay him his wages, Obama, you have to pay him his wages. So they've been shelling out so much on wages. Then there's also, if you're a cynic and you want to be controversial, you can think that this is maybe legal issues because there's always the story following Barcelona how their players are avoiding tax, La Liga avoiding tax. Maybe I feel like there's something under the story. Like if football club doesn't just, there's something going on.
So this is the thing, right? What it was is that I think that Barcelona were very good at hiding all these things before now. So now that we're seeing everything come out all at once, it sounds like a shocking deal. But Bartomeu was at the helm of affairs for the longest at Barcelona. So
I guess it was all good while Messi was doing all that winning.
Exactly, all of that winning. And even before Bartomeu, there was gross mismanagement of funds.
They did have issues.
Barcelona.
They did have issues.
We started to see signs of it when their academy that's known to, in fact, they have the oldest football academy in the world that's known to produce the brightest talents, started to dry out. We were not seeing talents coming out of there. In fact, one of the brightest talent that they have now at the moment, Ricky Puig, everybody knows that guy is not going to make the team.
But in the last 2 years, we've seen Pedri and Gavi though, which have surprised us.
Okay, Pedri and Gavi, yes. But
besides that, generally, the La Masia factory line is not what
it has dried out. So all of these things have happened under the radar, and now that everything is coming out, we're seeing that.
It's kind of like how, speaking your club, a club that has been great and is going through sometimes, like how winning covers up the track. So when it was Sir Alex doing all this winning, like you can look away from all that because we're winning, and if you're winning, the money will come in. The fans will always be in the stadium. Like they will continue buying jerseys. I know so many United fans haven't bought jerseys in a long time because why am I giving this club money? I don't waste my money. So yeah, winning covers up the losses, and Barcelona. Like I just saw, actually, speaking of Barcelona, I just saw news this morning. The Lewandowski deal. They're saying that they want Barcelona to pay them upfront because they have no guarantees Barcelona will still be a club in 2 years.
That's funny.
It's not that they won't pay. They say they might not be a club in 2 years. They might have to liquidate the club.
That's another thing. So they want to sign these players, but they cannot even register them for the season. Christensen.
Exactly. There was that last season. They could register Aguero.
Cannot be registered at the moment. From Kessie that is signed on a free transfer from AC Milan. Cannot be registered as a player for the 2022.
No, Barcelona is so terribly wrong.
They don't get their affairs in order. So it is very interesting that you're still looking to sign even more players. The players that you have on ground, you're trying to ship them out.
They just kept doing it and doing it.
Like weird.
They signed Luke De Jong. They signed Aguero. Like it's actually joke. Talking about have to give a whole rundown.
Even more players too. The one Manchester United wants to buy, De Jong. Frankie De Jong. They can't sell him because they owe him money. This boy decided to let go of some of his salary just to help Barcelona at the time. And the figure amounts to about 17 million pounds. They are owing him 17 million pounds. And now they want to sell, and now like another club wants to buy him. And he's like, oh man, you guys pay up, or you know. So it's very, very precarious for Barcelona at the moment. And well, apparently I hear Lenglet is going to how do I pronounce his name?
Lenglet.
Clement Lenglet.
They pronounce our names anyhow too, Baba.
Clement Lenglet is going to Tottenham. Still trying to figure out what that fee is, but he's not the player that will command a huge fee. So if they say they are trying to recoup money with that deal, it's not.
I can't really see any players really that are gonna get money from, and the reason why they want to sell Frankie is because that's the one player who's like his stock is still pretty quite high at the moment. Money, So it's been interesting to see if he makes that move to Manchester United. It's interesting to know that it doesn't seem like he wants to make the move, regardless of how bad things are at Barcelona. Maybe it's because things are also kind of bad at Manchester United. So he's like, but yeah, that's interesting. I think moving forward, there's definitely going to be more unfolding with Barcelona's current situation. We'll see how they perform next season and who comes in, who leaves the door. If they sort it out, we'll keep you guys updated on all that. Watch Sangaloo for all that.
But let us know what you think about Barcelona. Do you think there will be a club in the next 2 years, like like that report said? Do you think that they'll be able to sort out their mess before the start of next season? Do you even think that they will be able to register Christensen and Frankie De Jong in time for the coming season? Let us know in the comment section.
Well, we'll call it a day there. Catch up with you guys later. Thanks for joining us as always. Like, subscribe, comment, send it to your friends and family, and we'll catch you next time.